were born anyway, ready.
Yeah, I was born somewhat ready. One
I've
foot in, one foot out.
Such an honor, my friend, to have you on our Quebec radio show Prescription Punk Rock. For those who don't recognize your face or piercing or beautiful beard, who the hell are you, man?
My name is Squirt Gun, and I play with Public Serpents. I used to play with a little-known act called Choking Victim. Oh yeah, my friend has the shirt right there.
Yeah.
And then called INDK, and another one called American Distress. And actually, for the French Canadians, I played in Flacon Givré for a quick minute down in Montreal. Tracheotomy and Raymond Sauvage, members of 84 78 and WD 40. Back in the old days. Back in the old days. Yeah.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is
You didn't
crazy,
even know.
man. I no, I didn't know that WD-40 is such an amazing band, and they're part of the history in the punk rock. And I say punk rock, but it's a really different style. But yeah, into rock. So it's so cool that you knew that scene because you told me you were in Montreal when you were 19, so you know Montreal and Quebec.
Oh, pretty good. Yeah, my so Alex actually, well, Alex played in he played in Flacon Gibray with my friend Guy. I don't know if you know Guy. What's his last name? Guy Fla well, they just call him Guy Flaconi. He like lived in Norway for a while. And then we formed another band actually called Lamia, which was very like I don't know, I'm not gonna call it industrial, but like a tribal sort of punk noise band or whatever. And then they went on, and I think if I remember correctly, Manon, she was in WD-40, right? Manon,
Yeah, I
because she
think
lived in New
she.
York. Blood, yeah, Manon. I can't remember her last name, but she lived in New York. She played in a band called Blood Sister in New York, and that's how I knew her. But they started WD-40, but we played with all those bands up there, like General Fools. What was the other one? Les Poupées Gonflables, I think. The inflatable dolls.
Yeah,
Um,
and like General Fools played their last show a couple of months ago. That's crazy.
that is crazy that I even remember these names.
Yeah.
A bunch of Armed and Hammered, but they're from Ontario. Um, there was a couple other bands. I can't really remember them, but yeah, there was a lot going on in Montreal. We used to go to Fafouin all the time, go up St. Laurent. I was a bike messenger in the middle of the winter. That shit sucked. That was
Wow.
terrible. That was the worst job I think I ever had. And my name, you know what my name was? We found an ID, and my name was Sylvain de Montagny. I
True?
don't
Wow.
speak any French, so it was very strange. See, you're learning a whole bunch already, right? Like I get that Quebec connection.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's so cool, man. And yeah, doing like that job in winter. So like first of all, like biking during the winter when there's so much snow, it's just crazy. And you know how cold Quebec and Montreal
Oh,
is during winter.
yeah, man, that was like literally the worst job because I got paid like zero, and they knew that I was bullshitting. They knew I had a fake ID because who the hell is named Sylvain Montagny that speaks no French? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, yeah, that was kind of silly. But yeah,
That's
no, it was like,
genius, actually.
woo, yeah, yeah. But we had a good time. I had a lot of friends. We got into there was a bar called the Dax or Dax. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if you've
think.
heard of it, but an old punk bar. I remember like one of my best memories there is me and a bunch of my friends. We went there. You know, we were the American guys. You know what I mean? But we were all like studs and mohawks and shit. And like Montreal had some serious punk kids. They were like, street punk. But they didn't speak English, and they were really upset that we all had tall Doc Martens like them and spikes and studs. And we literally got into a bar fight there. Like we were throwing shit, throwing people across tables. It was crazy. Like not people don't do this anymore. Yeah, but it was like a literal punk bar fight. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I now I sound like a violent guy. Well, who
Yeah,
says I'm
because
not?
like those days were crazy. You're right. Like you see another, if you saw the Another State of Mind documentary about social
Oh yeah,
distortions and Yell Brigade, and they went to Montreal at that time. So you see a little bit. There was way more, like you said, violent and everything. But things have
well
changed
they
so much. We're way more quiet. We're getting older, so we don't fight anymore. Too old for that shit.
take your drugs now,
Yeah,
like good people.
yeah,
No,
we
I
could.
remember the you actually had a quite a bit of police violence. I remember hearing about because there was that band Scum, uh, Society. What was it? Society Communautaire de Montreal. I don't know. It was the police. That was like wasn't that what the police thing was called? SCUM. That was the name of the police brigade or something down there. Or anyway,
Yes.
yeah. I ended up actually. It was funny. I had this girlfriend. She spoke only French. We got into a fight one night. We were leaving like for fun or something, and it was snowing, and we were on our bikes, and some taxi driver was being a fucking asshole, and nearly killed us, and like rode us off the road. She put her kryptonite lock through the window, so the guy freaked out, called the cops. Yo, you got straight up Mounties there. They traced us back to the apartment by following our tracks in the snow,
Shit.
like Davy Crockett or something like that. That's crazy, right? Like that. Like people are actually still able to do that technique. Like they were like I don't know relatives of fur trappers or something. You know? Like yeah, like or something. So yeah, I ended up. I actually spent like 3 weeks in the Partenay jail. Um, they let me out, and then I ended up like coming back to the U.S. and I went back up there with my stuff, and I got arrested at the border because they asked me if I had ever been arrested, and I was like, "No, I'm a good boy," and they had it all in the computer. I was stupid. I was a kid. So they're like, "All right, you're making false claims to a peace officer, right?" And they put me in a jail again. I sat there for like 6 or 7 weeks, and finally I was like, "Man, just deport me." So yeah, like I had like the possession de outil for cambriolage, the fight, and breaking like probation or whatever. Like I never got into that much trouble really at that point. But like Canada is pretty harsh. Um, yeah. So long story short, after that happened, I got deported. Je suis déporté. And then we got offered to play Pooza Fest like just this year, and they really couldn't help me because I would have had to like talk to like lawyers, and if anybody out there is a lawyer, where's my camera? If you are a lawyer, if you're a lawyer, help me get back to Canada because I need a lawyer that speaks French and English. Yeah.
Yeah, I should check. I worked for the Rock Fest for 8 years, and they had a deal for the band. So I think they were paying less the band, and they put money into a team. I think there were four of them, and they find kind of a way of getting band as working thing for
Okay.
an amount of times, and you can get back in the state without any problems. And so yeah, and I know they deal a couple of cases. So yeah, I'm gonna check that, because yeah, that project is such amazing. A lot of people think it's a new thing, but you've been doing that for many years. It has some point that it went dead, but how did you got that crazy idea of creating that ska, so original sound
What Choking Victim or other
with
bands?
Public
How do you?
Serpents after
Good.
choking.
Thank you for not going straight for the old stuff. Um, I don't know. I it's a hard question to answer, I think, but I love ska and I love reggae and I love dance hall reggae. It's like I probably listen to more reggae and ska than I do punk these days. And I was a young kid. I'm from Boston originally, and then there was a heavy ska and reggae influence in the scene because I first started getting into punk in like 1986, right? And all the hardcore and all the punk sort of went up and then went down. You know what I mean? So Yeah, all the original people in that scene started, like, I think, gravitating to like funk, like the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Parliament and then reggae. You know what I mean? Because it was like it was different. It was because reggae has always been kind of and ska's always been part of the punk scene anyway through England and the two tone whole generation. So I was like finding my punk, roots, I guess, at the time. Because I was a kid. I was fucking like 12 or something. So um, I found punk, but then I had a lot of peers that were into ska and reggae. So I was exposed to a lot of dancehall, like early dancehall, like Supercat and early Beanie Man. Later Beanie Man's kind of whack. General Stitchy, U-Roy, that kind of stuff. So I think pretty much from being a young person to now, it always stuck with me. And I had Choking Victim. Sorry, my messages are going nuts. I had Choking Victim going. You know what I mean? So that was like a voyage into ska punk. You know what I mean? Like it was after the time of Operation Ivy, but I always listened to sort of the more political kind of punk stuff, like Crass and Rudimentary Peanut. The real aggressive sort of anti-music. And then I started getting into like the early earache bands, like when Napalm Death wasn't, it was more like, and then it was over. Oh, excuse me, I just made a joke, Choking Victim. But yeah, so like I would say to answer your question, a lot of the stuff that I listen to just kind of bounces around in my head, and that's how the songs kind of came together. It was like nobody's really doing dance hall in punk, I figured there's got to be a way to put this sound that I hear all the time in my head into something that other people have heard, and that's I hope that makes sense. I don't know. It feels like it should make sense. It makes sense to me, but yeah, that's just because I don't really dig Rancid or No Effects. That's not my style of punk. I don't. They're good bands or whatever, but like I don't. I like Bad Religion, I guess, when I was a kid, but all that California clean melodic stuff, it doesn't really speak to me. And I think that's why with Public Serpents, it was an attempt to build a new kind of style, I guess. I don't know how successful I was, but here we are talking about Public Serpents first, so maybe it's successful. Who knows?
It,
What do you
but
think?
I like it because yeah, that's what I felt when I hear you. That it was so different, and yeah, it's cool that it was something intentional that you wanted to do, and that's what we need. Like a lot of bands try to recreate what they love, but like it's fun to build something brick by brick that it's so different that people don't know how to handle it at first, and then it creates something. And you're right, like I mean, like when you see Citizen Fish, I think that Dick, when he was trying to step up from the subhuman thing but bring something that it was different.
Yeah, no, and they also did it very successfully. And a lot of bands, shit, Bad Brains in the beginning. You know what I mean? Like, who thought these reggae guys were gonna start doing hardcore like that, and then all of a sudden they were like the dudes. So I don't know. I to me it's like when I think about music, I don't want to be like everybody else. Like I don't know. There's enough people already doing that. Like we don't need, and I just kind of felt like if we're gonna actually do something that you bring from the heart, you have to do it really from the heart because you could say it's from the heart, but like if it sounds like something else 100%, is it from the heart or is it from the checkbook or the business plan or hopefully we get a record. Man, I put on my first shit. I mean, like I recorded the whole record. Really, I never even meant to be a singer. I was like just writing music, and I was like, how am I gonna figure out somebody to sing this type of music? I would need at least two singers, and that's kind of why I started you know, singing in this band. But then like forever, man, we tried to get this record out for so long, the newest record on Sbam. You know, it took like probably 4 years to get this out after recording. And that's mainly because I had gone through a lot of stuff in my life. Like prison, lost. I wasn't able to like fund my own stuff anymore, and I just, you know, we tried the GoFundMe route. Still, I don't know that people understood what we were doing. So it's like, if you don't understand what somebody's doing, how are you gonna, you know, give to it? You know what I'm saying? And that was like a 4 year process until Sbam was like, all right, let's do this record. You know, and I'm grateful because now we have like opportunities. You know, like right now we're in Brazil. I'm interviewing you from Florianopolis, Brazil. We just finished our tour. It's amazing. Fucking love this place. It's like 80, 90 degrees. I just went scuba diving today. I swam with a fucking turtle. So that was cool. But and then like in a month we go to Europe, you know, and the last couple of years we've gotten a tour in Europe a lot. We did a big tour in the US. So right now we're working on going to Europe for, you know, I'm going to be there for like 5 months. We have 2 tours. And I just hope that like, you know, people start to gravitate to this new sound. Like, luckily we've been able to get like some friends along the way. Big help to our latest tour is the band Los Fastidios, if you know them, from Italy. Antifa, Antifa. You know, but yeah, they helped us get a bunch of shows. We're doing a big show with them in London, a few shows in Italy. Um, and, you know, we've had an easier time this year, which is great. It gives me courage and strength and faith that next year will be even better. We didn't get in onto as many festivals as we did last year this year, but that's because we played a bunch of them last year. And unless you're like in the back pocket of all of them, you know, can't really do it. But we had amazingly enough, we had to turn down Punk Rock Bowling this year, and we had to turn down Pooza because I can't get into Canada. Lawyers, get in touch with me. I need help.
Yes.
Uh, but yeah, we're planning on doing some other stuff next year that we know about that you're not going to find out until it happens. I can't. I'd have to kill you, and I don't want to go back to prison. So yeah, we won't kill anybody yet.
Yeah, not
We
for
gotta wait.
me.
We gotta.
For anybody else, that will be worth it, but not me.
Yeah, yeah. No, I have to somebody that's worth it, like as my final move. You know, the death punch. But yeah. So you know, I'm happy. Like, to answer your question, you know, a lot of influences brought, you know, this band out of this here, and I'm just happy that now it seems to be catching on. The tour here was amazing. Like, every show was full. Every show was well received. Yeah, because like I don't know how to say this without sounding weird, but like I feel like Americans and Canadians and, well, United States people, because this is a mistake I'm making. I'm in South America, and I keep saying Americans, and people are like, "Bro, we're in America too. What do you mean?" You know, because that's very Eurocentric of me. But people in South America, because they're not like, you know, Anglo-Saxon descent, you know, French, English, they're of Portuguese descent, they're of indigenous descent. Our music kind of, I don't know. Have you ever left Canada? Have you been around the world and stuff? Like, you know,
Just the
like,
States. I didn't went to Europe.
okay, so if you go to like Bulgaria, right, and listen to pop music is totally different. It has like a Russian sort of edge. And when I say a Russian edge, I mean like the progressions. If you go to Turkey, the music has a Arabic edge. Our music doesn't have that English and French edge. It has more of a Latino sort of progression. If you listen, you know, it's not all major chords, you know, it's kind of darker sounding. And I think that coming here, and hopefully when we go to Spain and we go to Italy, it's picked up the same way, like, because it speaks more to the soul of that style. Plus with the Caribbean sounds, you know what I mean? It's and I think that if you really look at the sound, I don't even believe that it's a new sound. I believe I'm recycling other cultures, just not you know, akin to the Anglo thing. Does that make sense? I hope that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
with the personality you have and the history, and it injects something different into something maybe that was, but never went like commercial. It's not a sound that people are used to, so it make it always original and different. So yeah, because nobody's kind of reinventing the wheel. It's just like, after all, music is vibration.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. When I was locked up, I actually read a whole book about the science of music. I did not know it was vibrations, like what I found out. Anyway, other story altogether. But yeah, we're just really proud. We're really happy. We've had a few hiccups with the lineups, but right now, the lineup as it stands is we got Keith, the guy's been there for the last 6 years. He's a wonderful drummer, great guy, easy to travel with. We got Kyle White, who is our guitarist, but he's just unable to tour. He loves his boyfriend. He's not trying to leave. So I respect that. So in his place, we've had Tyler Miller. He's got a band called Trying to Get By. He played in another band. I'm not going to mention their name because we had a little drama with the singer of that band. He's a piece of shit. But hey, I digress because I know some pieces of shit who are probably part of the reason I have a hard time in the world. Guys I played with. Oh, you know who I'm talking about. We don't say names around here. But yeah, we got Tyler. We got Wira, Wira Medeiros. He's got a band called End of Pipe. They're from Florianopolis, Brazil. He's going to be our main guitarist for the lead right now. And then we got a couple different bass players. But right on this tour, we had Gerard, who plays with Houston and the Dirty Rats. We got a guy named Kai Kelly, who's going to come in for one of the tours. This other guy, Dalton, will be playing guitar with us for the first tour. And literally, this is the first time in my life where like I've been able to have trumpet and trombone and sax players asking me to play instead of me being like, "Hey, can you help us? Will you please play?" Like, crazy story. We got catfished by a trumpet player on the last tour in the U.S. Without saying names, funny. I got sent a demo of their work, and I thought, "Yo, you're amazing." That motherfucker got to the tour, could not play a goddamn note. So for like 10 shows, we had some horn player that didn't know how to play. But our current horn player right now kicks ass. Little Jessie Dill, she plays with the Von Tramps, Something to Do, and I think a bunch of other people coming soon. So I can't divulge her secrets at the moment. But then we got Eric Molina, who's playing with Los Malhablados out of Portland. He does sax with us. Of course, we have Ben, the guy that recorded on the record, but he's also one of those guys that's busy, has a job, he has kids, so he's the core of the band. But like I said, just like Kyle, he can't. I'm everywhere, dude. I have the whole next year planned out, and funny enough, we just talked about doing a whole South American tour for like 6 weeks after like next like well not after during next summer, not summer here, summer there, because right now it's summer here, right?
Yeah,
Southern Hemisphere summer.
lucky.
It's hot, bro. Yo, yeah. Well, maybe there's no air conditioning here, and I'm sweating like a dog. But old people that happens. I need bags of ice or something. But yeah. So we're like again just blessed, man. This is I didn't think I'd see this much of the world. You know. I'm sorry you're in Quebec right now. It's cold as hell there. Oof.
Yeah, it's a weird winter this year. There's not much snow. There's time that it's kind of -1 or 2, which is weird. Normally it's minus like 30 or 40. But yeah, but it's well deserved, my friend. After all those years of dedication and creating and sweating, I think
Yeah.
it's and the timing right now with the pandemic, people got more time on their end. They were aware of a new wave of ban in a way because you were there. We said that, but I think people got more time to discover music, and we're at the time where there's a change in, even the headliner. People want something different, and there's kids coming in the scene, and they think like our music like is fucking like when I when I thought of prog music that my parents were listening to. Like, I don't want to be into that. That's old music. Now I love it, but back in the
Even
days, that's the reaction of kids.
well, even before the pandemic, everybody kind of wanted rancid light, dollar store, no effects. They wanted carbon copies because they were just so used to their life going a certain way. I'm especially lucky because um, I went to prison for 2 years. I fought a case for like 10 years, so I had like a lot of time that like I couldn't do music. Um, and it sucks. You know what I mean? I lost like 10 years of my life just dealing with that. But now I feel happy to know that like I'm able to do the thing that I was meant to do. So no, I don't have all the stuff that I had before. I got a divorce, and actually my ex-wife is from Montreal. Go figure. But I sold my house. I live in my bus. You know what I mean? But I have my whole year planned out for me, and now we're starting to plan the second year. And even if it's not successful in the sense of like corporate success, I am able to live my life in a more fulfilling manner because before the pandemic and before I got arrested, and I was just doing what everybody else was doing, chasing money, chasing what I thought was right. I have kids. Obviously, I had to take care of them, but um, chasing that dream of the house and all that stuff, it takes away from like putting your heart and soul into the actual work of the music. And that's why I'm able to go, man, I should go on tour. I should go on tour again. I guess I'm going to go on tour again. Let's book that other tour. I wouldn't have been able to do that. And, that's what feeds my soul. So, in a sense, going away for that time kind of taught me a lot of things that I should have already known, and afforded me the right to be who I am and where I am with, you know, what little I have to offer. I don't have a lot of money. I did sell my house, so I guess I'm doing okay at this point right now. But that's gonna be gone. Money comes, money goes. It doesn't even matter. I'm just happy. My girlfriend likes me. You know what I mean? Like my kids probably still like me a little. I'm assuming our cat likes us. My car is running. It's the little things, man. And fuck, I'm in Brazil. I'm in fucking
Yeah.
Brazil. I can't.
Like
So
people are, so many people lost their self into that quest of they think that success is all about the money you got or the house or how many cars you got. But success is not that. It's the connection you make with people around you and how you influence their life through something positive. And you prove it. You took something really negative. It's I'm sure it was a hell of a hard time, but you took everything negative and change it into something positive, which we bring to the records, which is fucking amazing. That struggle, I think, make those songs maybe more relevant, more intense, more edgy, more fun to listen. And in a weird way, that thing that was negative change into something positive, and everybody has their own. I'm sure people stop you and say, "Oh, that song and that song mean that," and you're like, "No, I didn't write it in that way," because it's a living thing. Music is a living thing. So you were part of that, and you didn't restrain yourself or didn't have any change, so you could do more. And I think that's what happening. And you for me, it's a fucking huge success doing that because it's that's the real reality to connect.
yeah, man. I attribute it to the same thing that made the blues so, important. Like, there was some dudes living through some hard times. They didn't have any money, their girlfriend left them, whatever, whatever their struggle was. I'm sure being a black man in the 1920s was really a lot harder than it is now. But even then, I can't tell you. I don't know the struggle, and I know that people of color, they go through so much worse time than people who aren't. And again, I don't want to disrespect that. I'm just talking about the struggle. Um, and that's what made that music so important. And I kind of feel like at least, I don't know, I lived through a struggle and I was able to, I don't know, overcome it because there's still stuff in here that I wish I never had to go through and see. But like you said, turn that those lemons into lemonade, you know, or whatever the thing. And it's important for me to have overcome that, and I think that makes it that much more important, you know. So, yeah, you know, I'm just glad I had the chance to see the world through a different lens. I hope that makes sense. That makes sense, right?
Totally. Everything you said made fucking sense, my friend. I'm running late because Zoom is a fucking pain in the ass with their 45 minutes, but we have to do a part two. But for people that want to encourage you, that want to buy merch and have a music budget, what's the best way to directly encourage a band?
Hmm. I'm really bad at selling merch, and I'm really bad at paying my bills. And my website went underneath. And I used to have a record label, 10 City Records, which we still kind of have it. But if you actually want some merchandise, you can just hit us up on the Facebook page or through Instagram. Only because I don't really believe in like having a commercial site too much. It's just I don't know. You can come to our shows, man. You know, like that would be the best way to do it. We're playing around the world enough right now that if you can't get to one of our shows, maybe you don't deserve the merchandise. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I think I would say Interpunk, but no, not anymore. They like to
No,
rip everybody off.
don't go there. Not a
Oh,
good idea.
hey, but Sbam Records does have our records for sale. And I think eventually we're gonna put some stuff online to sell. It's just I'm investing so much money into merch to bring on the road, and having a store is just like not even in my brain. So hit me up personally. I do have stuff for sale if you want it. Find me on Facebook. I'm always there. I have a big group over there too. If you don't know, punks arguing over nothing, kind of fun. Yeah. So anyway, 45 minutes up, bro. Yeah.
My friend, thank you so much. And what Kurt was telling you is that if you can just listen to the fucking music, learn the song, and go catch them live. That's the only thing that is important at the end. So thank you, my friend, so much, man. We're gonna do a huge special, of course, on Public Serpent. And again, congratulations with the records. People go listen to it. You're amazing, man. Love you deeply, man.
Merci, merci, mon petit chou.
Oh, that's the first time that one. Uh,
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
no,
Jamais again. I bet you somebody did say the voulez-vous coucher.
yeah. Yeah, the
Yeah,
classic one. Tabarnak.
yeah, yeah. We tabernacle, Carlis, si boy, sacrament. Yeah, I know a little bit, petit peur. We won't do this anymore. Now I feel cheesy. So le fromage.
Yeah, like if anybody from the band never went to Quebec, they would not get that.
France, they don't get it. They're like, bro, you're talking crazy. What is? It? They know about it, but they in France they're a little bitter over Quebecois. They're like, that's not French.
Yeah,
Like
I know.
I pulled up the Mon Petit Shoe a lot though. Trust me, it works really good on stage.
That's
Earned.
so Gord, thank you so much. Have fun in Brazil and man, see you. I hope to see you around Canada. We're gonna try something. I'm gonna hit you up and let's keep each other in touch. Thank you for your time and generosity. It means the world, man.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you, man. You have a good day. All right.
Cheers. Bye bye, man.
Here.
Talk
Bye
to
bye.
you later.
Prescription is what you need. No more inhibition.